Recent data reveals that many were pushed into retirement due to the pandemic, both early and unprepared. Welcome back to the Industry Leader Update. AARP research found that 2 in 5 workers, or 40% of those age 50 and older, would not have retired or left a job or even considered retiring had it not been for the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. By October 2021, actual retirements jumped 7% higher than they were in January 2020. Analysts at the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis discovered that the rate of retirements during the pandemic exceeded the anticipated retirements among baby boomers. By August 2021, there were over 2.4 million more retirements than had been anticipated. You can call it the Great Resignation or the natural result of a worldwide pandemic. Either way you slice it, older Americans either chose to retire or were forced to as a result of economic shutdowns or health risks from repeated exposure to the public. The Federal Reserve of St. Louis's Institute for Economic Equity found older workers with higher levels of income and education, they tended to remain on the job thanks to opportunities which allowed them to work remotely from home. In August 2020, on this very show, I examined what were called involuntary retirements amongst older workers. And one of the impacts of the pandemic was undeniable, a surge in unemployment. In January 2020, the unemployment rate amongst those 55 and older was 2.6%. By April 2020, that surged to 13.6%. Now, will we see the great unretirement? Well, that would be good news, considering that the U.S. is facing an unprecedented labor shortage with over 10 million job openings today. Market Watch columnists Geoff Sanzenbacher and Matt Rutledge examined the history of individuals who are re-entering the labor force over the last 4 decades. And for this, they turned to the Census Bureau's Current Population Survey, or CPS. That survey found that the rate of retirees who return to work has remained relatively steady and low, even during economic recessions and expansions. And further examining the CPS, they found that unretirements averaged about 6%. One factor which can hasten many choosing to return to work, however, is inflation. Older Americans on a fixed income are seeing their purchasing power diminished each and every month as the cost of goods and services continue to rise. And all this leaves reverse mortgage professionals, that's each and every one of you watching, in a very unique position to help older Americans in a number of ways. And one way is to assist those who wish to retire but are unable to do so due to cash flow constraints. Another are those who recently returned to work out of economic necessity but would prefer to exit the workforce. And not to be overlooked are retirees who will not return to work, but who are suffering the effects of inflation, which is reducing their standard of living. The full impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic may not be fully understood or known for many years. What we do know now is older Americans need realistic solutions that provide a means to improve their monthly cash flow without the burden of additional payments for a line of credit or a cash-out refinance. What impacts on retirement have you seen as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic? You can share your experiences in the comment section below, and please kindly spread the word by sharing today's episode on your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. You can watch dozens of our previous shows and new episodes each and every week on our YouTube channel. Just be sure to smash the subscribe button, and every Monday, listen to the latest reverse mortgage news on our weekly podcast. Thank you for joining us, and have a great week.